So next up on the show is Howie Nestel with Sharkmatic Advertising. Your business has been around for a long time?
For more than 3 decades, but it wasn't always called Sharkmatic. Yeah. I did what I told clients not to do. Don't mess with your branding. Don't change the company name. And I've changed our company name at least 6 times. And the last time when it became Sharkmatic.com or Sharkmatic Advertising, I was in New York meeting with a production company called Dogmatic. And I was like, God, this is such a cool name, Dogmatic. You all own Dogmatic Inc.? Yeah, we do. I was like, oh, great. So I was looking it up and everything. Man, I'm leaving there. I said, okay, I call my staff on the way out. I go, hey, we're changing our company name to Sharkmatic because I looked up the domain names available. What does that mean? I go, I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
All right. So now that you've had time to figure it out, what does it mean?
It's like a chop-o-matic. You throw in raw ideas and it comes out finished marketing piece. Like a chop-o-matic, you throw in raw ingredients, it comes out salsa. A Sharkmatic, and if you look at our logo, it has opposing shark fins. So we throw in client ideas. So Emad, Simply Bookkeeping, they come with their old website, and he's got all these ideas of what he would like. Then my staff jumps in with their ideas, and then I have my ideas, and we throw them into the Sharkmatic, and then we end up with revised website, branding, social, that kind of stuff.
Well, I like it. I don't want to be a wet blanket here, but I don't think that's how sharks work.
No, right?
I don't think anything good comes out of that.
You said this was a PG show, so I'm keeping it. That's
now
I kept it clean. I kept it clean.
No, we help our clients dominate, like sharks dominate the oceans.
I like that.
That's ultimately what we want to do, but we don't lead with that. But man, I get very aggressive with our clients. I want my clients to dominate their industry. So you do a search for organic wording of what my clients do, and if they're not coming up on the first page of Google, it gets me a little bit upset. And I want to do what it takes to get them ranking on Google searches.
I like that. I always say when I work with someone, I want them as like passionate about doing what I want as I am. I want them to really go after it. So what I think is interesting about marketing is I feel like a lot of people from outside of the industry come into it and they're like, it's just marketing. I'll throw it up on Google, put up some Facebook ads, and they think that's going to do it. What are some of the nuances from your multiple years of experience that would contest that?
Yeah. Usually what's free doesn't work. And if it does work, it only works for a certain amount of time. And when the platform realizes that it's working for clients, they start charging. So if there's a platform that's been free for a long time, it's because it doesn't convert. And if it doesn't convert, you shouldn't be doing it. And if you want to do it to have a Me Too thing, just then go ahead and put it up there. But if you think that all your marketing that is free is going to convert and help you grow your business, that's one thing that in 30 plus years I've realized is it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So we have clients that get these free website builders before they became clients. They build their site. They say, oh, it's a beautiful site. I said, yeah, let's look at your analytics. 6 unique visitors a month. It's like winking at somebody in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. So it doesn't matter how good the site looks. If nobody's seeing it and it's not converting and nobody's calling you from it, then it's not working. And even free, you wasted time doing it, which costs you money.
The big question, though, is, for me as a business owner, because I have a website that probably nobody's seen, right? And it's like, you're on my list, absolutely on my list to reach out to, if you'll take me as a client, because I know you only take so many of certain categories, but hopefully virtual assistants and podcasts you would take. But, and it's me. But is that, hey, what does that really mean? If I dump, say, $2,000 a month into everything that would, and I don't even know what those numbers are, but let's just say that's what the number is. How do I get that back out of the website? And that's where I would get stuck. But since I've known you, I've had a little bit more clarity on how it's about customer acquisition, setting up basically what amounts to a funnel. I don't think you use those words in my presence, but certainly you're setting up a funnel.
I don't use them, and I don't use them for specific reasons. One, it's a ploy. And I'm not saying the funnels don't work, but it's a marketing ploy to get people duped in a way that they end up on a landing page and then they're funneled into a purchase decision without initially knowing who the client is or what rabbit hole they're going down before they pay. I'm more of an organic marketer, which means that, and by the way, if you want to give us $2,000 a month, we're available right now. We'll hire you. Most of our clients are spending $350 to $500 a month on organic search. And quite simply, I'll give you some examples. If you look up Tires and Wheels San Antonio, Gil's Tire and Wheel comes up on the first page. Their competitors, and I hope they're not listening, NTB, Discount Tire, these kind of companies.
Big companies.
They don't optimize in Spanish. So if you look up Llantas y Rines San Antonio, Gil's comes out 2 or 3 times on the first page of Google. That turns into one client that pays for itself for the next 4 or 5 months of SEO. And he's getting 3 to 5 clients a day. They're getting about 4,000 unique visitors a month. So if you don't think that's converting, then, definitely go build a website on GoDaddy for free.
Yeah, it's really been kind of eye-opening being in your circle a bit and hearing these kinds of things, because the way I learn is I go to YouTube and it's a place to go and get confused when you talk about SEO and all this stuff, because everybody has a plan and a strategy, right? But it's kind of cool being around an expert.
Yeah, look, there's clients that have known this for years. So Washtub's been our client for a long time, more than 10 years. Cooper's Barbecue across Texas. Before they became clients, they had one website. Now they have 7 locations around Texas, and we have 7 websites, one for each location around Texas. They each have their own optimization. They each have their own social media, etc. And, it makes sense, because if you're in New Braunfels and you pull up a website and it defaults to the Fort Worth location, and it confuses the consumer. They're not in Fort Worth. They're like, they wonder why they're there, and then they jump off to something else. But if you're in New Braunfels or in San Antonio and you Google barbecue, and Cooper's Barbecue comes up in New Braunfels, and it's only a 22-minute drive, you're going to do it. But if it's a 5.5-hour drive to Fort Worth, you're not going to do it. So there's a lot of nuances and things like that I don't know that anybody's going to be in business long enough to figure out everything there is in marketing. I don't know everything there is in marketing. That's why I hire people that are in their 20s. My most senior staff have been with me for 12 years, and they're only in their early 30s. And they're still learning stuff from the 20-something-year-olds that come into the company. And we do it all in-house. I don't outsource. We've had previous designers that still freelance for us, but they were part of the Sharkmatic crew, so they know how we work. We have kind of a signature approach to how we do things. Now it's 1,500 clients later, and we have about 450 active clients that we manage their marketing for. And so we're starting to figure this thing out, Marc, after 35 years.
Right, 3 decades.
And that's the thing. It shifts so fast with the way the internet works, and the world is changing. And it's kind of like you're going to have to pay to play. You either pay in your time to dig down, figure out what marketing strategy, what bookkeeping strategy works for you, or you can be efficient with your time and money and pay an expert who their only job is to actually figure this out and do it at a high level.
That's right. So, while Emad is in growth mode, we're in right sizing mode, and you'll love this as a business coach. So I had been in growth mode plenty of times in the past, and I've owned other companies and grew them, sold them. Some of them, got out of them, they just weren't profitable, whatever it was. But what I'm doing now with our marketing is I do a lot of network marketing, of course, but I also market ourselves to get those right clients, those ideal clients. And as I get more of those right clients, I kind of shed the ones that are not right clients, that have been around for a long time. They don't like to spend. They like to complain. They're not, they're not helpful in the overall process of marketing. I need a partner. I'm on the same side of the table as my clients are. And so I don't need an antagonistic relationship. I certainly don't need to work for the money. So even if somebody comes to me with money and they're not an ideal client for me, I won't take them on. I want to make sure, 1, that I can get results from them. 2, that I actually like spending time with them and talking to them, because my clients either are friends or become friends. And then I take that to the next level, which is I get them involved with nonprofit. Just today, I've done more nonprofit stuff before noon than I have doing for-profit stuff from my company, because I've been over the past couple of decades on this long transition from career to calling. And so when I help my nonprofits and I get so much out of that, and the nonprofits get so much out of that, I also want to bring my clients along with it. So I get them involved with nonprofits. We had 12.5 of them sponsor this big event on Saturday. I have stuff coming up, galas, and it's all connected. And then again, speaking of unintended consequences, well, guess what? That solidifies and strengthens our relationship. Because if a competitor comes in and says, oh, I could do your SEO better than Howie and Sharkmatic, well, I'm so connected with my clients because I've gotten them involved with nonprofits and with other stuff, and they become friends that they're highly unlikely to leave me because of that relationship we have.
Imad, you're one of Howie's customers. So when you started, how long ago did you start using them?
About 4.5 months ago.
Okay, so when that process, and I'm putting you on the spot on purpose here, but
absolutely.
So how was that process of Howie kind of bringing you into that fold and then, building out your stuff? How was that?
It's actually been great. It's been good for, like you said, on a friend basis, relationship, but also on a business basis as well. Because not only am I able to help him, but he's also able to help us. As you mentioned, we're in growth mode, and anytime a business is in growth mode, it's very important to understand that you should not stop marketing regardless of if you're growing or if you're not growing. It's always to continue marketing because it's consistency. And so even by doing that, we've been introduced to a lot of great folks, whether, yes, they've converted into business as well, or whether it's nonprofits, which we all love to give back into society, just as society has helped us as well. And so by giving back as well, it also helps us grow as a person, grow as a business, and grow our environment as well.
Howie, we're about out of time, but I wanted to ask you about your HowieNestel.com. You do some speaking stuff. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. I do public speaking, and the model that I've adopted is the Google model, which is I do everything for free, and then one day I'll become a billionaire from public speaking. So
I think that is a Google model.
I got the first half of it down, doing it all for free. Now, I actually have been paid a few times for public speaking. I love doing it. And then when it's part of a nonprofit, then I get to donate back my speaker fees. And like you said, you get the honor and privilege of listening to me every single Wednesday at My People referral group. But it's kind of hard to say something meaningful in 2 minutes or less. So I prefer a 1 hour talk. I did an event for a convocation for a school system 2 years ago, and they said it was a 90-minute talk, and I had 15 pages of notes, and the guy that introduced me was a superintendent, and he said something about a personal interaction that he and I had, which kind of launched me into a talk. Well, make a long story short, I never even looked at my notes for an hour and a half, but thank God I looked at my watch.
Right.
I'm like, and we're just about out of time. So thank you so much. But I love that. So I put some of my talks on HowieNestel.com, HowieNestel.com. And I don't travel for speaking. I've been offered to travel, but I don't do it because I still have 3 kids in middle school and high school. And so I don't want to be that dad that's always gone. But maybe that's what I'll do when I retire, when my last kid gets out of
hit the circuit, write a book and hit the circuit.
Yeah. But to kind of button up the thing about marketing and clients and growth mode or not and networking, I always say the time to look for clients is when you don't need any.
Right.
Because if you wait to need clients and then try to figure out what marketing's going to work and what networking can do, it's usually too late. So even us, right before the pandemic, I mean, we market our own business. And the beginning of the pandemic, first 90 days, 40% of our business disappeared because clients didn't have money. They were closing. They were this or that. And so we already had marketing in place and were able to shift and still have a profitable year in 2020.
Yeah. I think you just never know when you're going to have that crazy shift in the market or something's going to happen and people have to leave you. It's not that they want to. It's not that you did a bad job. It's just sometimes they have to leave you.
Yeah, 2008, Y2K, tech bubble burst, housing bubble burst.
Not every decade we've got something nasty that comes up.
As I told Marc the other day, welcome to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Well, there's a saying, one of my favorites is, it's not the direction of the wind that determines where you're going to end up. It's the set of the sail. Mm-hmm. So there's always going to be change and things coming at you, and you have to adjust. You have to pivot. It's like me getting kicked off the radio. I pivoted to podcast, and we're doing better now than we were before. Yeah,
immediately. And I think, to speak on that nonprofit piece, if you've got kind of a bigger vision for what you want to do with the vehicle of your business, your company, your entrepreneurship itself, that's what can help you sail through those pivots and really help you keep going when the chips are down. I mean, that's huge to be able to step out of, I have to make money and I have to survive, and just be able to say, I've established this, so now I can pour into what I really love to do. And you end up seeing, I feel like on the most part, more success than you would have thought.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I know you got to you're gonna probably have to cut off my mic, but
Yeah.
Graham
Right now.
Weston,
Mute.
Graham Weston, Bill Greehey, Harvey Nasium. These are all local billionaire philanthropists. I would have never met them by having a little web design firm. I met them all through nonprofit stuff, and I've gotten them involved with these philanthropic things that I'm doing. And if it happens to turn into a little business, I don't say no.
Well, a big part of business is having fun. I'm telling you, you can't go through life just eating steak. I mean, you have to have cheesecake on occasion.
One of my favorite questions to ask is, if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, would you be okay with what you're doing right now? And if the answer is no, then even if what you're doing is profitable, maybe we need to shift your activities, because there's no point in it.
Well, and who's going to show up to your funeral?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, Howie's funeral would be full because he touches so many people in a positive way. Brought to you by MarcEbinger.com.
Hey, you know what? Let me put you down as one of the speakers to deliver a eulogy. I have about 20 people.
All right, Howie, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Sharkmatic.com, SharkMatic.com. They can call my office, 210-375-QUADOT. If you're from the country. If you're not, it's 375-0000.
All right, and let me initiate a challenge out there. Go Google Howie Nestel and let me know what you guys come up with. All right, as we wrap up the show, quick reminder to check out our latest podcast and catch video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, Marc.